Good afternoon and welcome back to Glendale, Wisconsin as we get set for possibly the last day of the Northern Athletic Collegiate Conference Baseball Tournament. And we have our final semifinal game to kick us off here as the Eagles of Edgewood College are taking on the Spartans of Aurora University, the number 6 Eagles versus the number 2 Spartans, with a trip to the championship game on the line. Peter Borkowski here on the Cougar Sports Network, joined by Ethan Birch. And Ethan, we have a really good one in front of us here, and unless I'm mistaken, this is our first rematch that we've seen of the tourney. These two teams already met on the first day of the double elimination format, and it was Edgewood, the number 6 seed, upsetting the number 2 seed Spartans 10-9, and that was an absolutely electric game. Both teams scoring a combined 8 runs in that 9th inning. Edgewood just barely beating out the Spartans, and the stakes are even higher today. Loser goes home. Aurora would go to Aurora. Edgewood back to the Madison area here in Wisconsin. Winner, they get a date with MSOE tonight in the championship game.
Yeah, this is going to be a fun one, and I think the whole rematch aspect behind it draws a lot of attention to this matchup. It's an Aurora team that probably feels like they should have won that game against Edgewood. Some costly pitches left over the plate. Edgewood, this scrappy team, took advantage of it over and over again. And then, as you mentioned, 8, 9 runs in that last inning.
Right.
4 of them came from Aurora, nearly mounting a 5-run comeback to tie the game in the 9th inning. This is a hungry Aurora team, which we saw what they're capable of yesterday. Obviously, Zimmerman, the NACC Pitcher of the Year, dealt a gem. Ended up winning and beating Marion 2-1. Wasn't the prettiest of wins, but hey, survive and advance. And then they flexed their muscles last night against a good Benedictine team. Scored 11 runs, got good pitching. But hey, aces are off the table right now. We're on to our 3s, our 4s, and potentially our 5s. This is what is going to show what teams are made of. Who is the deepest team?
Yeah, and with Aurora, that big win over Benedictine last night, right? That 11-6 win, you felt like for the first time in the 3 games we've seen Aurora so far, that was who the Spartans really were. It felt like they kind of broke through. They showed why they're the number 2 seed in this conference after a loss to Edgewood on day 1 and then a barn burner against Marion in game 1 they played yesterday, a 2-1 win in 10 innings. They finally broke through, put 11 up on a very good Benedictine squad. And that's how we got here as we are underway here in Glendale, Wisconsin. And Dominic Curcio, the first batter up for Aurora. He'll be followed by Joe Lukancic and Logan Riley, the 3 guaranteed batters this first inning. And they're going up against Nate Backsky. We personally have not seen Backsky yet this tournament, as he's not appeared in any of the double elimination games. And like you said, Ethan, it's going to be the depth now for these pitchers. Maybe you bring a guy back if you need him, but right now these coaches are going to the next man up to start this pivotal game.
Absolutely. You know, you got to think that some of those seniors, even Zimmerman, I would bet is available if they absolutely need him. I get he threw 150. I spoke to him after the game. He said he's ready to go. So,
right.
Hey, he'll be ready. But attention's on Backsky here. Not a lot of work this year.
Here's a grounder to the third baseman over to Jacob Carney in time for the first putout of the day. And that was Hayden Hellenbrand over in the hot corner making the play. And that's a big out there, Ethan. Dominic Curcio has been a menace to every team he's played so far. He gets on base. He's fast. He's a good hitter. And to be able to get him out in just, 5 pitches, it's a good start here for Backsky.
Absolutely. He has sparked this order time and time again this weekend. He's just a frustrating out. And here's another one with Lukancic. Bat-to-ball skills are absolutely elite for this kid. He's got a great 2-strike approach, and that 2-strike approach just puts the pressure on the infield. Yesterday on a 2-strike count, just slapped it over to shortstop, and the Benedictine defense was rattled with his speed out of the box.
He takes a strike there, even up 1-1. Yeah, Lukancic last night in the win over Benedictine, 2 for 5, 2 runs, struck out once. As for Backsky, the lefty on the mound for the Edgewood Eagles, he's coming into today. This is appearance at number 9, a 10.61 ERA, first start of the year. As here's a slow dribbler, Hellenbrand. Will it be in time? It won't. You're talking about that speed from Lukancic, Ethan. We saw it there, a slow dribbler over to Hayden Hellenbrand. Did his best on the play, but just couldn't get the Aurora first baseman out.
Yeah, that's just a beautiful bunt. I mean, Hellenbrand not positioned to field a bunt like that. Lukancic, who was looking to swing on those first two pitches, says, hey, I'm going to drop one down, and that's just a beauty. I mean, nobody is throwing him out, especially with that acceleration out of the left-handed batter's box.
So first runner on of the day, and that'll bring up the 3-hole hitter, Logan Riley, the catcher for Benedictine. Only one hit against Benedictine, but did come around to score 3 times, as he was hit by a pitch as well. Falls in an 0-1 hold to Baxguy, and now he'll take one just high and away. 1-1 the count.
Yeah, I'm interested to see Baxguy. It hasn't gone since May 5th, so not at all, even in the single elimination part of this tournament. Very small sample size this year, just 9 1/3. He's been hit around a few times, but also has been great. I mean, he's had 4 appearances this year where he's allowed 2 or more earned runs, but then had an excellent appearance on April 1st against Marion where he went 3 innings and struck out 5. So the ERA is a little inflated due to those few times where he gave up a couple runs, but it's 10.61, but he's had flashes of being great, and he's had flashes of being hit around. Which Baxguy are we going to see here in the biggest game of the year here for Edgewood?
And as he delivers a 3-1, it's in there, so full count now. He might have the best advantage of all the pitchers right now, which is rest. Like you said, we haven't seen him at all this tournament in the double elim round or the single elimination round, so he is well rested up on that mound. Full count here. The pitch to Riley as Lukancic takes off a high chopper. Hellenbrand has to jump for it. The throw over is in time. Nice dig there by Jacob Carney. Basically went into the splits to get that ball. So Riley, as good as a bunt, he advances Lukancic, who has already taken off, over to second. And with a man in scoring position, it'll be up to Braden Gorecki to try and bring that man home and strike first here for Aurora. And after last night's game, Ethan, you actually had a chance to speak to Braden about what was a really nice performance from him in that game, as he went 3 for 3, 3 runs and 2 RBIs, including a home run.
Yeah, he absolutely mashed a homer. It was left on left. He got a hanging breaking ball, and he just deposited it into those trees beyond the right field wall. I mean, he's had an excellent tournament so far. He plays a brilliant third base in the 4-hole for a reason in this stacked Aurora lineup, and he's in a run-scoring spot nice and early.
That ball can't find its way back home, so we're evened up at 1 apiece.
Hellenbrand's had a busy first inning over a third. Everything has been pushed his way. Curcio and Riley both grounded out to him, and then, of course, the Lukancic bunt. He nearly threw him out as well.
1-1 as this ball is skyrocketed up into the air. Who wants it? Prindle, the shortstop, comes over and makes the grab for out number 3. So, Nate Baxguy, good start here in Glendale. Faces 4 batters, leaves 1 stranded. And we head now to the bottom half of the first. The Eagles, they'll look to strike first against Edgar Barbara. We'll have more about him, and we're back here on the Cougar Sports Network in just a second. Bottom of the first here in Glendale, Wisconsin. The Edgewood College Eagles look to strike first against the 2-seed Aurora Spartans. And Edgewood, they'll lead things off with Terry Tolliver Jr., Hayden Hellenbrand, and Jacob Carney. And Ethan, we have a familiar face on the mound for Aurora, a man we've already seen in the double elimination round. That is Edgar Barbara.
Yeah, he comes home and zips one in there to start this bottom of the first, a junior from Aurora, Illinois. And we saw him, but very briefly, tossed just 2 pitches to get an out versus Edgewood. So he's well rested. He's made a few starts this year. Aurora has been able to line him up for this semifinal game, and gotta think that they feel good about that. This kid has dealt 27 innings flat this year, ERA a little high at 7.67, but he struck out 32 in those 27 innings. He will often get the swing and miss.
Misses there to Terry Tolliver Jr., who absolutely came alive in Edgewood's loss yesterday to MSOE in the first semifinal game. Despite the loss, Terry Tolliver Jr., 3 for 5, a run, 3 RBIs. He had a home run and a double. He was a triple away from the cycle. And for a bat who was relatively quiet through the first couple games we saw of him, he was a big reason that Edgewood was in that game against the number 1 MSOE.
Yeah, he is just a brilliant hitter to watch.
As he loops this one up, but into the glove of the shortstop, Spencer Rook. And that'll take care of the leadoff man for Edgewood. And now it'll bring up Hayden Hellenbrand, the third baseman, who saw all of the action in the first inning besides the inning pop-up to Kyle Prindle. First 3 batters, Aurora sent to the plate, all hit balls Hellenbrand's way.
Yeah, just to touch on Tolliver one more time. I mean, he was absolutely the spark plug in that game, and they hope to get back to another matchup there against MSOE. Tolliver was an absolute problem. He also went yard in that game. He plays an unbelievable center field, controls the outfield. He's a big reason why Edgewood has made it this far, and so is this kid Hellenbrand. I mean, we talked about his defense, but he's also provided some pop here in this postseason. Multiple extra base hits, the average up to 333. I mean, you talk about a guy making an impact on both sides. It's Hayden Hellenbrand. He has been awesome here in the 2-hole for Edgewood.
See what he's got today. He's in an 0-2 hole as he jacks this one foul, so we'll get set to do it again. Hellenbrand again, followed by Jacob Carney. The rest of the lineup is Kyle Prindle, Brevin Brezak, Daniel Bentavegna, Dominic Lee, Carson Richter, and in the 9-hole is Colby Davis, the DH, as the 0-2 fouled off once more. Staying alive, Hellenbrand is.
Yeah, Aurora has lived and died by their starting pitching. You look back to Zimmerman's performance yesterday, and then Mason Ishii was a huge part of that win yesterday. You love to talk about the 11 runs, but he kept this team in the ball game through 7 innings.
As that ball can't find the zone. 1-2 now. First ball issued to Hellenbrand.
And that's the thing people almost might forget from yesterday's game, that it was 4-2 going into the back third. 4-2. Mason Ishii kept them in that ball game. And then, of course, an explosion in the back third from Aurora's incredible offense that finally was able to rev it up and get it going late in that ball game. But, hey, they've relied on this starting pitching, and it's another big performance that they hope that they can get out of Barba here.
As the 1-2 bounces away from the catcher Riley, so 2-2 evened up here. Yeah, Aurora's offense last night, the final 4 innings of the game, the final 4 innings that they had offense in the game, I should say, they didn't bat in the bottom of the 9th. They scored runs in every inning, a total of 7 runs between the 5th and 8th inning. As Hellenbrand, that ball will stay in play, and it'll get down the line. Takes a bounce off the portable mound down in the left field corner, and striding into second with an extra base hit is Hayden Hellenbrand. Good fight there from the third baseman, able to stay alive after falling down 0-2, and now he puts himself in scoring position for Jacob Carney.
I mean, he wasted everything that was in the zone and finally got a pitch to hit, and he is all over it. He hugs the left field line. He's got extra bases. It's his 3rd extra base hit of the weekend. He just keeps on coming through when this Edgewood team needs it. And here in the first inning, he hopes that this will spark a flame for this offense. I believe Aurora might think that that ball was foul. It was real close. So they're at least hoping for a conversation here. and maybe an explanation to see where exactly that ball was. It looked like it was over the bag, but again, a really close call. And I mean, early on in this ball game, semifinal, you don't know how many run-scoring opportunities you're going to have. Aurora at least fighting for their pitcher here, but nothing's going to change.
Yeah, head coach of the Spartans, Adam Stevens, having a conversation with the home plate and the third base umpires. Third base umpire, obviously the one who made that call. So, just getting his 2 cents in, no change of the call. As with 1 out, man at second, it will be Jacob Carney, who, after a relatively quiet tournament, did drive in a run last night as he fouls off the first pitch. 1 for 4, scored a run, did strike out twice against MSOE.
Yeah, they just hope he gets it going. You know, you're at this point, and you probably feel like you haven't really been able to swing the bat as well as you've had all year. Well, today's a new day of baseball.
As this ball is lifted into center, Curcio going back. He's not going to be able to make the grab. It bounces off the left center wall, and Hellenbrand, he's going to come home and score easily. No throw to the plate. RBI double. Jacob Carney and the Eagles, they draw first blood.
Well, what were we just talking about? I mean, a kid that really hasn't gotten it going all weekend here in the semifinal. His first swing is just a beautiful swing. He shoots it into the left center gap past Curcio, who rarely lets anything drop when he's hawking balls down in his center field. That's a great stroke there from Carney, and hopefully just the beginning for the lefty.
As the next offering, it's a bouncer back to Barba as he fires over to first in time to retire Kyle Prindle. Good job by Barba keeping an eye on Carney, who has to stay at second. And with 2 outs now, it's Brevin Brezak who will try to extend this 1-0 Edgewood lead. Brezak, we mentioned before, son of the Eagles head coach Al Brezak, who is in his 25th season with the squad. So you got a pair of experienced managers here. Al Brezak with Edgewood, as well as Adam Stevens with Aurora. First pitch to Brezak. Brevin Brezak finds its way home for a strike.
It's a good start here for Edgewood. You got a nice first inning out of your guy, backs guy. And now the offense gives him a run. I mean, you think about that sort of confidence for backs guy, who, again, hasn't seen much of a workload here in 2025 and getting to start in a huge game.
Next pitch is outside, 1-1. Two teams, very different histories within the NACC tournament. Aurora tied for the most appearances all time with 15. They're tied with CUC, who also made this tournament. They were eliminated in 2 games, as Brezak takes that one just outside. 2-1 the count now, pardon me. And Aurora, they do lead all teams in the titles category with 7, their most recent win coming in 2023. Meanwhile, for Edgewood, this is appearance number 9 as Brezak swings through that one for strike 2.
Must have been looking for something else. That fastball was center cut, and he was very late on it. He's going to have to make an adjustment here. Appearance
number 9 for Edgewood, and they have never won themselves this tournament. Looking to change that. They're going to need to win 3 straight between today and tomorrow to bring home that first Edgewood baseball title.
Yeah, this is just a tough situation that they end up finding themselves in. MSOE, a team that's only played 2 games, one 2 days ago, one yesterday, and they got to win one of the next 2. Meanwhile, these 2 teams got to roll in and win at least 3 in a row, 4 for Aurora.
And there's strike 3. Brezak, he goes down looking, and that'll end the bottom of the first. That'll end the first inning in general. But the Edgewood Eagles, thanks to the RBI double from Jacob Carney, they strike first here in Glendale. They take a 1-0 lead into the top of the second. Second inning time here at MSOE Raiders Stadium's final semifinals game. Winner will move on to the first championship game against MSOE tonight. First and possibly last if the Raiders win that one. But who will they play? We got 8 innings to find out, as that'll be a first pitch strike issued to Ryan Buck, the designated hitter for Aurora. He'll be followed up by Jaden Holgado as well as Matthew Washington, the left fielder and second baseman respectively. Excuse me, this is Nick Zarnecki at the plate. Ryan Buck is on deck, followed by Jaden Holgado.
Good first inning from Backsky. Curious to see what this one looks like. He tossed 17 pitches, 10 of them strikes.
As Zarnecki fouls one off and falls in a 1-2 hole.
Good breaking ball from the lefty in that first inning. We'll see how Aurora hitters adjust. He used it not only as a put-away pitch, but also to just get back into accounts and to also jump ahead of hitters. We'll very curious to see how he uses it.
1-2, low and in to Zarnecki. So 2-2 count now. Zarnecki, the right fielder for Aurora. That ball almost scoots away from Carson Richter, and I think that's going to be an interesting story to watch here, Ethan, is Carson Richter. He was pulled defensively in Edgewood's loss to MSOE. Had a couple pass ball issues, had a couple errors, or had one error, and then he dropped what would have been a foul out behind the plate. As the 3-2 misses, that'll be a leadoff walk to Zarnecki. So the defense of Carson Richter back behind the plate this game. Interesting storyline to watch.
You just got to play good defense here behind the plate. We mentioned the big backstop so many times. There is not a lot of room for error here. You have to stop everything that goes down in the dirt. You got to catch everything that goes your way, because it's at least an extra base for anybody on the base path. And then not to mention the aggressiveness of this Aurora team. They're very similar, at least on the base paths, to how MSOE does. They're aggressive, they're confident, and they're fast. And they're going to make sure that they speed the game up in that regard.
First strike issued to Ryan Buck, the DH, as he takes ball one there. 1-1 now. Buck followed up by Holgado and Matthew Washington. He's in the hole. That's the 1-1. And check this swing appeal down to the third base coach, who's right in front of second right now. He said no swing. 2-1 the count now.
Yeah, unfortunately not in a great spot to really dictate if Buck pulls the trigger there. But there's nothing you could do about it. That's just where he's stationed.
And the 2-1. That's able to stick in there. Good frame job from Richter to sell it. And count evens up at 2-2 now.
That might be your makeup pitch right there. Makeup call.
Now it's close, and again, Richter did a good job to bring it in. But 2-2 the count. Versus the designated hitter for Aurora. He lifts this one over the head of Prindle into center field, as Tolliver will have to play that one in. That'll be a single for Ryan Buck.
What an excellent swing there. That breaking ball down, but also middle. So Buck does a nice job identifying the spin, going down, and just absolutely hitting a rip into center field there. That's a barrel. And all of a sudden, Aurora, who exploded offensively yesterday, has the table set here in inning number 2.
And they have one of their hottest hitters at the plate, Jaden Holgado. He didn't start in either of Aurora's first 2 games this tournament, as he goes swinging on the first pitch. Nice glove by Hellenbrand, and he'll just take that to third base himself for the force out. Smart play there by Hayden Hellenbrand. And there's one out on the board. Runner still at first and second.
Yeah, that's a great play, and that also takes a run off the board. The way Zarnecki read that is that he's coming to the dish no matter what if that ball scampers into the outfields. Hellenbrand does a nice job getting the lead runner. I would have liked Zarnecki just to keep running, continue to put the pressure. You never know what happens if he pretty much gave way to Hellenbrand back to the bag.
As there's a strike to Matthew Washington. He's now working with Ryan Buck at second and Jaden Holgado over at first. One out on the board as the Aurora second baseman, who 0 for 2 last night with a strikeout. Trying to get the bat going. He's got some good defense out in the field to see if he can put the other half of the game together when his team needs him most. Loser of this game will go home. Winner, 2 wins away from a NACC title. Backside gets set. The 1-1. Swung on and missed. Strike 2. Now the pressure's on Washington to protect here. 2-strike count. Runner still in scoring position. Ryan Buck, the tying run at second. Backside checks the runner, and they're going to throw, as that was a low throw. Good job by Kyle Prindle to get in front of it. Don't know how far that would have gotten, as Bentavegna, the second baseman, was back there to back it up just in case. 1-2 count. Here's the pitch. As Washington makes contact, a hopper into Kearney, struggles with it, looked to second, instead just takes it to the bag himself for the out. And advancing to third is Buck, while Holgado now stands at second. So 2 runners in, scoring position for Spencer Rook, the shortstop and 9-hole hitter. He's got to reach safely here to extend the inning and possibly tie this one up.
It's a good job by Kearney. Just get in front of it, knock it down. He's got a short trip over to first. They would not have turned 2 regardless, so it's the right play. And Backsky, this inning did not start well for him. The walk to Zarnecki in a timely manner. Buck hit a line drive. I mean, this inning felt like it had the makings of a big one, and Backsky is completely limited the production of Aurora's offense, but still one more big hurdle to leap here with Rook and 2 in scoring position, because none of it's going to matter unless you get this last out.
1-1 count on the 9-hole hitter, Rook. The pitch. Swings through it for strike 2.
He's trying to clobber that ball. I mean, he swings so far out of his shoes. His head is pulled all the way to his third base coach. He's got to change his approach completely. They're giving him the whole middle of the infield here. Just got to shoot it up the gut and at least put the ball in play and put the pressure on the Edgewood defense.
As this ball will be lifted into shallow left. 1 run will score. We're tied up as the ball gets away from the left fielder and sliding into second safely is Spencer Rook. A 2 RBI double for the shortstop and Edgewood. They strike here and they take a 2-1 lead as that ball was bobbled out in left field by Dominic Lee. It's both runners to come home and score, and Aurora finds themselves on top by 1.
Yeah, I mean, it's just an excellent change of approach. He goes from trying to clobber a 3-run shot to doing exactly what he should have been doing the entire time, and it's just worked the ball right back up the middle. He gets one over the plate on 2 strikes, and that's a gimme for Rook. He's a good hitter in the 9-hole, but in the 9-hole for a reason, to set up the top, and he flips it back up to the top here in inning number 2, now with his biggest hit of the tournament so far.
And you have another big hitter here in Dominic Curcio, who was hitting .462 coming into this game in the tournament. He's now 6 for 14 after his first inning ground out to Hellenbrand. Such a difficult batter to get out. But Edgewood, they need to get it done if they want this lead to stay at just a single run for the Spartans. As the first pitch, Curcio goes swinging and fouls one off. Sixth batter of the inning for the Spartans. Joe Lukancic stands on deck. He'll come to bat if Curcio can reach safely.
It's a good bounce back here from Aurora, saying that we are here to play.
0-1. Can't find the inside edge. It's 1-1 now.
Big sweeping breaking ball there. Just couldn't find its way into the strike zone, but it's a good pitch from Backsky. Got him through that first inning, hoping they can get him through this second inning.
This ball skyrocketed up. It'll be Bentavigna calling everyone off. Makes the grab on the pop out to end the inning. But Aurora, thanks to some clutch hitting from Spencer Rook, they take a 2-1 lead. As we head now to the bottom half of the second, Edgewood finds themselves in a hole. How will they respond? Down by 1. Daniel Bentavigna, the second baseman who made the final putout in the top of the second. He'll lead things off now for his Eagles offense. He'll be followed by Dominic Lee and Carson Richter. So the 6, 7, and 8 hitters coming up here for the Eagles as they find themselves down by 1 after a 2-run inning in the top half by Aurora.
Now it's up to them to respond. Obviously, Aurora was able to counter.
As Bentavigna fouls off the 1-0. Evens things up at 1 apiece.
Here's what I'd really like to see from this Edgewood offense. We've seen Aurora pitchers over and over again get into grooves and make it through a good chunk of the ball game. Can they just put the pressure on this righty, try to force him out of this game a little bit earlier, get into Aurora's bullpen before the back third of this ball game? Because Aurora has leaned on their starting pitching so much here in this tournament.
Bentavigna batting .333 coming into this one, 6 for 18 in the tournament. As he takes the ball there, 2-2 now. 2 runs scored and a pair of RBIs. As he's just looking to get on here for the bottom third of his lineup, the 2-2. And he's going to pop this one up. And it's drifting into foul territory. Washington comes over and makes the sliding grab. And that'll be out number 1.
It's a really nice catch. I believe that's Luke Hansik over at first. He lost it in the sun. And all day, that's your second baseman's ball. And Washington doing a nice job. Now, it's a tough play, but it's a play that absolutely should be made. And Washington ensuring that there is no outs left off the board here.
So he put a stealing out in foul territory as the first pitch to Dominic Lee finds its way home for strike 1. Lee, so far through this tournament, also a .333 hitter, also 6 for 18, 3 RBIs, as he lifts this one into right, and playing it off the bounce is Zarnecki, so a 1-out single for Dominic Lee. And he's got a runner aboard for the Eagles with Carson Richter coming up to the plate.
Good piece of hitting there from Lee. Bottom of this order, hoping to spark something here in inning number 2. That was A lot of the story for Aurora in the top half of this inning.
So the backstop for the Eagles up to the plate now takes one way upstairs for a ball. And we mentioned Richter struggles defensively last night. Also been struggling a bit at the plate so far through this tournament. 4 games played, all of which have been starts for the catcher/DH. 2 for 12, a 167 batting average. As this is going to be a 2-hopper past a diving third baseman in Gorecki, and a pair of one-out singles for the Eagles. They might be cooking something up here with the 9-hole hitter, Colby Davis, coming to the plate.
Yeah, with no aces here, no ones or twos, I have a feeling that there might be a lot of offense. And that we already have that feel with 7 hits on the board at Edgewood, on the verge of at least tying this game.
Davis takes a strike. He's been the primary 9-hole hitter for Coach Brezak and his squad, and he's done an excellent job. 4 games, 4 starts between the DH and the catching spot, and he's batting 6 for 15, a 400 average with 4 runs scored, as well as a pair of RBIs. 0-2 count now on Davis, who's starting here in the designated hitter spot. Again, he's seen some time at catcher, the 0-2. And this is going to be a 2-hopper over to Washington. He flips it to second for 1. That's all they get. So Davis hits into a fielder's choice to Washington. Runners in the corners now, 2 outs, as we're back to the top of the Edgewood lineup with Terry Tolliver Jr.
That's a risky play there from Washington. He's lucky it pays off. He has to charge that ball. Watch out for Richter, who's going from first to second, and then a backhanded flip over to the shortstop. The much easier play is to just go to first. They're lucky it does pay off, because now there's 2 outs. You're never turning 2 on a play like that.
Strike issue to Tolliver, who flew out to the shortstop in the first inning. First batter, first out of the game for Edgewood. Still able to get a run out of the inning. Now he's got an RBI chance here. Tolliver pops this one up. It's going foul. Gorecki able to make a play on it, however, for out number 3. So the Eagles, they strand a pair of runners, one of whom was on third. And we head now to the 3rd inning. Aurora still on top, 2-1. See if they can add on when we're back here on the Cougar Sports Network. Third inning time here at MSOE Raiders Stadium, and Aurora, they'll send the 2, 3, and 4 hitters to the plate. Lukancic, Logan Riley, and Braden Gorecki. They combined 1 for 3 so far through their first at-bats, and Lukancic, the one with the hit, as a 1-out single in the first inning, as he's going to take a ball blown away from Backsky. Logan Riley up next. He grounded out to third, and then Braden Gorecki ended the first inning with a pop out to Prindle at short. As Lukancic finds himself in a 2-0 lead now. Pardon me. The offering blowing away again in the turf. 3-0 now for Lukancic.
Got to find it here.
Pitch. He can't. Ball 4. And that's a 4-pitch walk to start us off here in the third. Lukancic goes to first, and that'll bring up Logan Riley, the catcher, grounded out on a full count, his first at-bat. Working with a man on just like he did in the first inning.
Riley's an excellent hitter. He's had multiple extra base hits this weekend.
And the 5th ball of the inning through 5 pitches for backs guys. He is struggling to find it. Logan Riley 6 for 15. Now 6 for 16 after his first inning at bat in this tournament. As the next pitch, that one finds it. First strike of the inning for backs guy. Took him 6 attempts. See if he can straighten out now. The 1-1. Swung on and missed. Riley went fishing, came up with nothing, and it's 1-2 now.
That's a big swing at a 1-1 pitch there. I don't hate it. 3-hitter. Wanted to do some damage, but now, again, that approach got to change. Got to cut the swing down.
Here's the 1-2. Fouled off. Riley, he'll stay alive.
He scored 2 in the second. You want to set the tone offensively. Get another run here. Would go a long way here for the Spartans group, who hopes to play in another game later on today.
Aurora's strength last night in the win against Benue was being able to put together scoring innings in a row. As this one is popped up, Prindle and Tolliver both coming in. Tolliver will make the grab, as that'll be out number 1. Big out number 1 as it keeps Lukancic over at first. Tolliver covering a lot of ground to get there.
Now batting number 11.
Yeah, Riley was taking some big swings there, and that really didn't change, even with 2 strikes. And he hits that ball really high in the air, and it tells you one thing, that he really did just miss that. Again, still early on in this ball game.
First pitch is a strike to Gorecki, popped out to Prindle to end the first inning. As Zarnecki on deck, he walked to lead off the second inning. Backs guy took the runner at first. A super competitive pickoff attempt as Carney not even on the bag. This offering is roped down the right field line. That's going to go all the way back to the fence. And Lukancic rounding third, and he's going to come home to score. The play at third not in time, and an RBI triple from Braden Gorecki. His amazing bat from last night carries over. He gets an RBI triple, and Aurora, they add on to their lead. They are now up 3-1.
Just a great swing. Gorecki absolutely ropes that ball down that right field line, and then, hey, turn on the jets, put your head down, and keep running until someone tells you to stop. RBI triple. It's another inning with a run here from Aurora, and they've now doubled their lead, still with 1 out and still a ton of room here to keep it rolling. You wonder if Edgewood has enough arms to keep themselves in this tournament. That's the real question.
Yeah, it'll start being a question of who does Al Breezak feel comfortable throwing again. Obviously, probably the biggest question might be Aiden Shoemaker. 121 pitches in the first game on Wednesday.
And that's it
on
for
Thursday, pardon me.
Moving on.
So Coach Breezak with the short leash on Backsky as he gives all of his teammates hugs out there on the mound. Backsky, a senior out of Mequon, that's home of Concordia, Wisconsin, and he'll get the high five tunnel leading to the dugout. The senior knows that unless Edgewood starts to make some noise here this weekend, that could be his final appearance in the Eagles uniform. So we'll have a new arm on the mound, and we'll get a check on who that is in just a second. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back on the Cougar Sports Network. Cole Polium, new hurler on the mound for Edgewood as Nate Backsky's day's done. 2.1 innings, gave up 4 hits and 2 walks. As he is in line for the loss right now, and his stat line not completely closed as the runner over at third, Gorecki, is his. Meanwhile, Polium gets a ground out here to second. Throw to first is good, but it does bring home another run as Zarnecki collects an RBI on that ground out to second. That'll be second out, but Aurora now sees their lead grow to 4-1 as now we can close Backsky's stat line. 4 runs allowed, all of which were earned for the senior in what could be his last start in the white, black, and red.
And it's up to Polium now. So 4 are on the board. You've obviously seen crazier. This tournament has seen crazier. Got to do your best to limit any further damage here for Aurora. You can quickly get out of this inning and get the bats going, and this might be Polium's game for quite a few innings, as long as he's able to keep the ball in the zone and stay consistent and, again, hold Aurora off the board.
The 1-1 just misses. 2-1 now to Ryan Buck. Buck a single and came around to score last inning, as Aurora has now put up 2 runs in consecutive innings. They're going to need some 2-out magic to make it 3. That ball is in there. It's now 3-2 on Buck. Full count for the designated hitter. Trying to get on for a red-hot hitter. And Jaden Holgado is the 3-2. It's going to be a chopper over the mound. And Prindle off his glove. So we're not done yet. Prindle reached up to grab it, and it skipped out of his glove. That'll be a fielding error on the shortstop. And in an inning that should now be over, it'll be Jaden Holgado, who has been absolutely on fire for this Aurora squad. Didn't start the weekend as a starter. Saw a couple pinch hit opportunities last night, though. 3 for 4 with 3 RBIs, and he's already reached base today to score a run on a fielder's choice.
That's a really tough play over at short for Prindle. You've seen the ball take some high hops on this turf. So Prindle really has no choice but wait for that one to come back down because of his given position over at shortstop, and it just eats him up. It's an unfortunate error, but it is an error.
As that'll be strike 2 to Holgado. Holgado coming into today, batting 500 as he has to duck out of the way, and that pitch gets away from Richter. So taking off for second with ease is Ryan Buck. He didn't even go initially. He went back to first before he realized where the ball was. 1-2 now with a runner in scoring position.
It's like a breaking ball over the head of Holgado. Not an easy pitch to reel in for Richter. And I mean, Buck did not even realize that ball didn't get caught by the catcher until everyone starts yelling at him to book it for second.
That does go down as a pass ball on Richter, who had struggles last night against MSOE. As this ball lifted in the center, getting under it is Tolliver, and he'll make the grab to end the inning. But Aurora, they did it all last night against Benedictine. They do it again here. They put up another inning with multiple runs. It is 4-1 as we head to the bottom of the third. Edgewood, see if they could finally get some runs back after their shutout last inning when we're back here on the Cougar Sports Network. So Edgewood, they've seen their deficit grow to 3 now, and it'll be up to Hayden Hellenbrand, Jacob Carney, and Kyle Prindle to get something started here in the bottom half of the third. Meanwhile, Aurora sends out Edgar Barba back to the mound, and it hasn't been the cleanest of starts so far, Ethan, for Barba. Gave up the run. He ended up facing 5 batters in the second, allowed a couple of hits, but he's getting the job done, keeping Edgewood at just 1 so far.
Yeah, obviously gave up back-to-back extra base hits, starting with Hellenbrand and then Carney right afterwards. And then another few hits in the second inning, but to give up 1 through 2 and have your offense do what they have done so far has been all right here from Aurora, but they're going to look towards this starter. They need him to continue to post up zeros here. Give the offense the runway to run away with this game. Keep this Edgewood team off the board.
1-2 on Hellenbrand as the pitch is lifted into left field. Coming in and making the grab is Holgado for out number 1.
It's a good breaking ball there. It keeps Hellenbrand way off balance. I mean, he is putting his foot down well before the ball even makes its way to him, and then that's off the end of the bat. High fly ball, routine out there for Holgado, and a good, start to this inning.
And through 1/3 of this game now, Edgewood, they have not had a leadoff hitter reach. Tolliver flied out in the first. Betavegna fouled out into foul territory in the second. And now Hayden Hellenbrand flying out to left as Carney puts a charge into this one. It's going back. It's going to be off the wall. Dies down at the bottom of the fence, and Hayden Hellenbrand, Jacob Carney, his second double of the game, as he puts a runner in scoring position, just one out.
Yeah, he's starting to heat up. He must have heard us talking about how he was slumping so far here in the tournament. His bat has awoken, and that is great, great news here for Edgewood, having their best hitter in the 3-hole finally starting to find it consistently. Now he's in scoring position and chance to get back within 2.
Ball misses to Prindle. Prindle grounded out to Barba in the first. See if he has a little better success here with a man in scoring position. His team down by 3 in an elimination game. The pitch. That ball misses 2-0 now. As of now, this is the final game of the tournament where the loser will definitely be eliminated. If MSOE loses next game, we will play again on Sunday for the final elimination game. As Carney, he's going to take off for third, and no throw from Logan Riley. Good read there by Jacob Carney, as he's now 90 feet away from home plate.
That's huge with one out. All you got to do if you're Prindle right now is hit the ball on the ground or something in the air into medium, deep left, center, or right field, and all of a sudden you get that run in. That's huge.
3-0, he's going to take for a strike. Makes it 3-1 now. And he'll take that for ball 4. A competitive miss from Barba. But a miss is a miss, and the corners are filled now. 1 out for Brevin Brezak, the right fielder. Struck out looking on a full count to end the first inning. And he's got an RBI chance here with Carney still standing at third. 1 out on the board, so Barba gets a good ground ball here. Could get out of the jam. Might change that as taking off for second. And coming home to score is Carney. So a little trickery in the run game from Edgewood, and they get a run out of the ground out by Brevin Brezak. Runner on second. 2 outs down. Edgewood back within 2.
Man, that was a scary play. It's a hit and run. So Brezak is swinging no matter what. Prindle's breaking. And a little flare shot to the right side finds its way down. So it goes down as a traditional 4-3 putout, but it brings in a run, and hey, it doesn't matter how it looks or how the hit and run was executed. It matters that they get the run in here, and they've at least taken advantage. And I've crossed 1 here, still in the beginning third of this ball game.
The 0-1 to Bentavegna as he fouls it straight back. Logan Riley takes off the mask, but he's going to have no play on it as Bentavegna falls in an 0-2 hole. Yeah, I don't know if Prindle didn't take off if Washington would have had a play at second. That would have been a tough play. It was a slow hopper, but completely erases that out of the equation. Meanwhile, Carney coming home to score during the chaos between first and second base.
I mean, Carney does a nice job, too. He has a great read, saying that ball's going to drop. He's also hanging in a position where he can retreat to the bag if necessary.
The 0-2, and that's going to be lined into left center. Prindle gets the sign to come home. There will be no throw to the plate. RBI single for Daniel Bentavegna. And just like that, Edgewood back within a run, and the tying run standing at first.
This is going to be a high-scoring game. This is going to be a fun game. Again, the pitching is depleted for both sides. These are hungry offenses, and the hottest offense is going to win this game when it's all said and done.
Dominic Lee now. He had a single in his first at-bat last inning. Made it all the way to third base before the inning was over. But now Edgewood get into the territory where batters are seeing Barba for 2 innings in a row. Pickoff attempt is no good. Count stays at 0-1. Every batter that Edgewood sends to the plate from here on out this inning will have seen Barba last inning. So consistent at bats for this Edgewood squad. Getting to see Barba quickly over and over again. That's how you get in rhythm against the pitcher. As for Barba, currently sitting at 52 pitches through 2 2/3. So a little elevated as Edgewood's making him work. The 0-1 misses. Good glove there by Logan Riley to keep it in front of him. Carson Richter, he's on deck. He had a single. He had a single, and then Colby Davis, as this ball is hit and misplaying it, is Rook is now, he looked like he was down, grabbed his hand, but he's back up on his feet as Rook overplaying that ball as it squirted behind him for a 2-out single from Dominic Lee.
That's another hit and run, and it works to perfection this time. What happened with Rook there is that he's going to cover second for the steal, and all of a sudden there's a baseball flying right by him, whistling by his feet. It's a perfect hit and run. Another one on here.
This ball hit to Gorecki, flings it over to first in time, so the hit and run doesn't matter. But the Eagles, they needed some offense. They got it. They get 2 runs on the board. They're back within 1 of Aurora. However, this Aurora offense so good at responding to adversity. We'll see if they can do it again. Third of the way through this game, Spartans on top 4-3. See how Aurora responds here. They've seen their 3-run lead cut to just 1. They'll have the 8, 9, and leadoff hitter here, Matthew Washington, Spencer Rook, and Dominic Curcio, as Cole Polium back on the mound for the Edgewood Eagles. Misses on that first offering. Washington, the second baseman, as he lifts this one up. Dominic Lee takes a couple steps to his left, makes the glove catch for out number 1.
Yeah, this game's going to be about who can keep up offensively with the other. Through the first third, it's been Aurora, but hey, this one up in the air right now. Another question is, can any of these pitchers really find themselves into a groove? So far, Polium has only faced 4 batters. He's retired 3 of them with the exception of an error. So he's looked all right so far. He's got to do his best to keep this Aurora squad in check.
This ball lifted into center. Tolliver backpedaling, makes the grab for out number 2. And so far, so good for Cole Polium. 2 batters, 2 outs. And now he only has to get 1 out with this dangerous top of the lineup for Aurora. However, Edgewood, they haven't had issues with Curcio yet. A ground out and a pop out in his 2 at-bats. Hasn't faced Polium yet, though. So a chance to maybe have a little better luck than he did against Backsky. First offering, he goes swinging, pops it up, going into foul territory, and that's going to get out of play. Given that all he had was Hellenbrand.
Hey, Polium might be the key here for Edgewood. He might be the key to a trip to the championship. If he's able to bridge this team over into the back third of this ball game, hold over the next 3 innings, and let Edgewood's offense do their thing, I mean, that might be your trip to the championship game right there.
This ball knocked foul by Curcio. Yeah, looking at the status of the Edgewood pitching staff, in terms of just who we've seen, Aiden Shoemaker, the ERA leader, that 121 marathon game against CUC on Thursday morning, you have to imagine he might be available at some point today, whether it's in this game or in the Aurora game, the MSOE game, if Edgewood gets there. Ryan Mixey we just saw yesterday. Haven't heard Drew Lenz's name yet in this double elimination round. Aiden Williams we saw on Thursday as Curcio fouls this one off. Count will stay at 1-2.
I'm curious to see if a guy like Shoemaker is going to be ready. I get it's been 2 days, but 121 pitches, I mean, that's got to be like traditionally a week's worth of rest. I get it's the end of the season. Summer's coming up. Might not have to pitch again for a while, dependent, of course, if Shoemaker's going to go play summer ball elsewhere. But throwing on, what is that, 1 day rest and 121 pitches? I don't know if Shoemaker's a senior, but it's a big, big ask.
As this ball pulled to the first baseman, tried to barehand it. Can they still get the out? They can't. Carney tried to play it with the bare right hand, and it bounces off as he is just hitting. He has not moved since that costly mistake, as that lets on a dangerous base runner in Curcio.
Yeah, that ball ate him up. I mean, what a wicked hop it takes. That's on the glove side, and then it just explodes to his right side, and he's trying to knock it down with the bare hand. That is now the 3rd error against Edgewood. You got to think eventually it's going to haunt him.
I say it hasn't burnt them just yet, as there's a strike issue to Lukancic, but you make enough errors against a very good team like Aurora, eventually those will come back to bite you. That's what good teams do. They punish you for your mistakes. They do not let you off the hook. The 0-1 fouled straight back. Lukancic, a single on a bunt in the first, and then a walk and a run in the 3rd.
I mean, this is the problem. Now you got to face Lukancic in this inning where you could have just went down 1, 2, and 3. He's faced now 6 batters, and the 2 runners that have reached have both been on errors. That's for Polium.
Ball up high. Had a pitch to waste there as he's up 0-2 on Lukancic. One, two outs. Curcio over at first. Lukancic pops this one up, going foul. And no eagle will be close. That goes out of play as well. So no eagle will be close at all, as it's still 1-2. Polium checks Curcio, and now he'll try and get him. He doesn't. Again, Curcio, such a dangerous threat on the base paths. Edgewood going to do everything to keep him where he is. They just need one more out, as here's the pitch. Curcio went, and that's going to be looped into left center. Curcio will round second and head to third. The hit and run pays off, as there's now a runner 90 feet from the plate for Aurora. Another one at first, as Edgewood should have been out of this inning after the Carney error. See if Aurora can punish them for it.
Yeah, both teams very aggressive on the base path. hit and run on, as we saw Edgewood pull off a few times in the bottom of the third. And just a beautiful piece of hitting there from Lukancic. Inside-out swing, shoots it into center field, and all of a sudden they're able to bring up the three-hitter Riley in an inning that should have been over minutes ago.
Riley takes that one away. Ball one. Riley, even though he's had a good tournament, hasn't been productive today. 0 for 2. Grounded out in the first, flew out to center in the third. As the 1-0 from Polium delivers, swing and a miss.
Got to gear it up quicker. Such a long swing for Riley, and it's paid off for him a few times, but pop out in his last at-bat and now well behind on a fastball. Got to just get things moving a little bit quicker. Need an adjustment.
Here's a grounder through the left side. Kyle Prindle unable to grab it, and that'll bring home another run for Aurora. So we talked about the Spartans punishing the Eagles' mistakes they do here. An inning that should have ended with Dominic Curcio now turns into a one-run inning for Aurora. They're back up by 2. 5-3 is our score.
Yeah, it's that error. It's going to go back and haunt the Eagles. It was bound to haunt them eventually. Again, 3 errors here in this game. You don't deserve to win many baseball games when you make more than an error. And now you're talking 3, and we're in the top of the 4th inning. There have been way too many mistakes here for Edgewood, a team that has played nearly a perfect tournament up to this point. Has the wheels fallen off the bus here in the 4th inning, but it's not too long gone. It's a 2-run game, that's all.
See if they can keep the damage where it is. That ball misses to Gorecki. Maybe the hottest hitter in the tournament right now. Perfect game last night against Benedictine, and so far he's 1 for 2 with an RBI triple. As he absolutely puts a charge into this one. It's going back, but Brezak able to reel it in. Gorecki gave that ball a ride. Good fielding by Brezak, however, ends the inning. And Aurora, they're able to capitalize on the third out error. They get one back. They take a 5-3 lead into the bottom of the 4th. Edgewood, they've seen the deficit grow back to 2 after they pulled within 1. Bottom of the 4th now, it'll be the 9-hole hitter, Colby Davis, to lead things off, and then back to the top of the lineup to Tolliver Jr. and Hayden Hellenbrand, both guaranteed at-bats this inning, as Edgar Barba still on the mound for Aurora. Ran into some trouble there last inning, Ethan. Gave up a pair of hits, gave up 3 hits, pardon me, and a walk as well, as Edgewood able to get 2 on the board.
Yeah, he's got to figure it out here. Obviously, a rocky start to this game, has yet to have even close to a clean inning. Again, it's going to come down to which pitcher can really persevere, which pitcher can just contain the other offense, because, I mean, these offenses are running wild. We're talking 3.5 innings and 8 runs on the board, 13 hits. Someone's got to give.
The 2-1, Davis lifts it. Will it stay in foul territory? Riley looking for it and not able to reel it in. Good effort there by Logan Riley. Remember, no cigar, and it is a even up count now, 2-2. Count evened up for Colby Davis. As he'll lift this one into right field. Davis, a leadoff single. And he's got a runner on board for the top of the lineup now. Terry Tolliver Jr., 0 for 2 so far this game after a really nice game last night against MSOE. He's flown out and he's fouled out.
I think our big question is, will we see a 1-2-3 inning in this ball game?
Hasn't happened yet. As both these offenses playing well, Aurora just a little bit better. And Tolliver shows bunt, and we'll have to pull back. And you're still in the early stages of the game. So if you're Coach Al Breezak, you're okay trading outs for advancing the runner, maybe getting a run. You know, you got plenty of time to make up a 2-run deficit. Of course, though, and this was the issue that Benedictine ran into last night against Aurora, you got to slow this offense down. You could score 1 run every inning, but if Aurora is doing the exact same or better, it doesn't really matter much.
I mean, they're easily on pace to score double figures again. So you got to find a way to limit their production offensively. And to be honest, it starts with just making routine plays. There should not have been a run on the board in the 4th inning, and that inning should have ended in less than 5 minutes. Instead, it gets extended. And a good team like Aurora capitalizes and makes you pay when you don't make the plays you should.
And again, this was an Aurora team. Their first 2 games of the tournament, there were some questions about this number 2 seed. In their first game, the loss to this Edgewood squad, the pitching just wasn't there. Even they threw their ERA leader Connor Hogan, and they lost 10-9. And then in Marion, the first game they played yesterday, even though they won, they only scored 1 run in 9 innings. It took 10 innings to beat the Sabres 2-1. So this Sabres squad did not look like a number 2 seed through the first 2 games. However, big confidence boost last night, taking down number 4 Ben U 11-6. Offense was good. Pitching gave up 6 runs, but still looked solid as Tolliver lays down a nice bunt, but it draws foul. If that stayed fair, that would have been beautiful from Terry Tolliver Jr. Just couldn't get a good roll on it. 2-2 the count. Well, these 2 teams, again, they played on Thursday, the first day of this double elimination format. Edgewood winning that one 10-9. And that was the game Barba pitched in, as this one handcuffs Tolliver. Could it work out in his favor? It doesn't. He's out, but he does advance the base runner. That one right above his hands, however, just as good as a bunt. As he's thrown out, runner at second now, 1 out for Hayden Hellenbrand.
That's a good point there. It works out as a bunt, but, man, what a play at third by Gorecki. He has probably been the best defensive third baseman here in the tournament. He has made some excellent plays, and that is such an underrated play. You got to factor so many things in. Charging, picking up the ball cleanly, the transfer to your hand, the throw on the run, and then lastly, how fast Tolliver is. Everybody on the field knows how fast he is based on his ability to control center field. He's out of the left-handed batter's box. It's such a tough play, and a tough play made look easy.
1-0. As this one skips off the back of Hellenbrand right above the number.
Here's trouble now.
And 2 runners on, and you have the hottest hitter in this Edgewood lineup. Like Ethan said, that's trouble. And it's Jacob Carney, a pair of doubles, an RBI, and a run through 2 at-bats.
Well, can you solve Carney? He has hit 2 hard line drives, 2 ropes so far. Nearly went yard in his last AB. shot the left center gap in his first AB. He's the go-ahead run.
He has had Barba's number as he takes the ball there. You know, Barba, he's in a tough position here. He can't really pitch to Carney just because of how devastating he's been so far this game. At the same time, though, you walk him. You got the bags loaded with 1 out. So kind of a pick your poison here. He's got to be careful. The 1-0. Carney gets a piece of it. Big hack there. If only he caught that one.
You can tell he just looks so much more confident and comfortable than he has all tournament. He took an awesome take. I mean, it was a fastball up and out, but you can tell how locked in he was. He never took his eyes off the pitcher and then takes a hack like that. He is very comfortable right now and hoping to get a pitch to drive.
The 1-1. And that gets by Riley. Runners advance. And now the double plays out of the equation. Or at least the usual second to first double play is. Obviously, something could still happen, but that's a big miss from Aurora.
It's even bigger because now the tying runs are in scoring position.
Carney doesn't even need a double here. Nice single, and Edgewood could tie this one up. Barba's got to be even more careful now. He misses there, 3-1. You do have an empty base, but again, do you want to load him? Or do you want to go after Carney? That's the question.
The way Carney swung. Put this kid on base.
You have Kyle Prindle coming up. He's 0 for 1, a ground out and a walk. Has scored a run today.
One swing could change everything.
Here's the 3-1. Carney gets the green light, fouls it off. Full count.
I mean, if you're Edgewood, you want him swinging. He's your hottest bat. You hope Barba gives him something to hit here. You really do.
Jacob Carney, the junior out of Madison, the hometown kid for this Eagles squad. Trying to turn the tides here in the elimination game. Semifinals baseball in the NACC tourney. The pitch. In there for strike 3. Carney thought he would get a free pass, but instead he is rung up. That is a massive strikeout from Edgar Barba. And now Edgewood, the pressure's on. They have to reach safely here.
That's a great pitch. Great pitch to get a good hitter. They did attack him, and it pays off. Still got to get a big out here with Prindle, the 4-hitter.
Prindle, again, 0 for 1, a ground out and a walk. Came home to score on that walk as he puts this one in play. Washington plays it off the hop, throws over to first in time, and the Aurora Spartans, they put 2 runners in scoring position. They get out of the jam, though. They will hold on to their 2-run lead as we head now to the 5th inning. So the Spartans able to keep a hungry Edgewood offense off the board in the bottom of the 4th. We head to the top of the 5th now. Sarnecki, Buck, and Holgado will be up for the Spartans. As Zarnecki, the man at the plate, 0 for 1. A walk, was thrown out on fielder's choice eventually, and then a ground out. As he draws a strike there, 1-1 the count now. Well, Ethan, we mentioned it, but the question here for Edgewood is, can you keep Aurora off the board? 3 straight innings now. The Spartans have put up a run as they're currently at 5. That's what they did to beat Ben U last night, is just keep on adding.
Yeah, Polium. I mean, he should have had a quick 4th inning. An error prolonged that inning.
Mm-hmm.
Curious to see how he bounces back. They're going to look to him. He's going to be the catalyst in this game. I said it before, and I stand by it here. I think Edgewood is going to get 5 runs at least in this ball game. It's going to be up to their pitching.
This ball fouled straight back. We'll stay at 2-2. Yeah, Aurora last night, that was the key. They didn't have one big inning. They scored 3 in the first, but after that, they never scored more than 2 in an inning. It was just they were so consistent. 3 runs, 0, 1, 0, 1, 2, 2, 2 through their 8 innings of offense. As here's a 2-chopper to Carney. He's going to flip it to Polium, who just beats out Zarnecki. Good foot race there. But the Eagles able to get the leadoff man out.
That's a tough position for Carney because he has to field that ball so far away. He's not going to be able to plant his foot in the turf and beat Zarnecki, who's a fast outfielder to the base. It's better on Polium there, who's able to get there, do his job. PFP's payoff.
Ball 1 to Ryan Buck, who's 1 for 2, has reached twice. He hit a single and scored a run in the second, and then reached on an error assigned to Kyle Prindle in the third, as he now sees the count evened up 1-1 with that strike. Should mention the umpires for this game: Matt Mullock calling balls and strikes, Patrick Weber over at first, and then Sean Philbin standing at third. And this ball popped up. Tolliver gets under it, makes the grab for out number 1. So 2 outs on the board now. And it'll be Jaden Holgado. And here we go again. Ethan, 2 quick outs from Polium. See if Edgewood can now finish off the 1-2-3 inning. They were unable to do it last inning because of an error.
Well, Polium might just say, I'm going to do this myself here. He has been on his game since entering. Got to be the bridge guy. Ooh, just misses there. I mean, that's a great pitch, though. You go from that breaking ball that sweeps across the zone to the fastball that is just right up and tight on Holgado. And then right back to it. It's a nasty combo. He very well could have had a strikeout there.
1-2 now. That pitch just misses. Not sure where, but we are evened up at 2-2 now.
He's just having fun. He's changing tempos through his motion. Now, quick pitch. Oh,
doesn't get him again.
You got to give it to him.
The Edgewood faithful in the dugout getting loud here, as now we're going to get a warning and a correction to my earlier statement. The umpires for this game, it's Mike Slawinski behind the plate, Alex Bartman over at first, and Carson Boyd at third. Those are your
hate to ridicule the umpire, but he should have struck out 3 times.
So that is your umpiring crew. Slawinski calling balls and strikes, Bartman over at first, and Boyd over at third. Excuse me for the earlier misidentification, as that ball misses, and that's a walk. And again, very different reason why, but an inning that probably should have been over for Edgewood. Instead, it's extended here. This time, due to some close no calls from the home plate umpire, as Polium just nipping that zone, didn't get a call in his favor.
It's unfortunate, but you got to move on. It's part of the game.
That is part of the game. I was just going to say that. Sometimes you don't get those calls. Miss there. Ball 1. Now, how does he rebound? That's the question, right? You had a couple pitches that you thought should have ended the inning. Instead, you walk what would have been the third out. How can you respond here against Matthew Washington, the 8-hole hitter, 0 for 2? As they try a pickoff attempt, no good. Washington a ground out to first unassisted, and then a fly out to left through his first 2 at-bats. 1-0. Runner takes off. It's Holgado. The throw is going to skip past Prindle, and good backup there by Bentavegna. Throw offline and short from Carson Richter. Stolen base for Jaden Holgado. Puts a man in scoring position. Again, see if Aurora can capitalize here. Probably should have seen the inning end. Instead, they get a few calls to go their way, and now. And there's a strike.
You got the sarcastic cheers from the Edgewood faithful.
That looked farther away than some of those ball calls. But Pulliam will roll with it. The 2-1. High and away. Makes it 3-1. Some struggles here from Pulliam after that walk to Holgado. He's got the 9-hole hitter up on deck in Spencer Rook, but Rook does have a 2 RBI double this game, and he's going to get another chance here. Walk to Matthew Washington, back-to-back now from Pulliam. And with 2 runners on, Carson Richter's going to go out there and try and settle down his junior pitcher out of Dillon, Montana. That's a senior move from the catcher, Richter, a senior out of Lodi, Wisconsin. Just trying to calm his man down.
Yeah, the problem is he's just thrown so many pitches now. I mean, he's thrown more pitches than Bax guy did.
And to be exact, Pulliam, he's at 53 through 2 1/3. Bax guy, his day was done after 51 through 2 1/3. Very different results so far. Bax guy, 4 runs all earned. Pulliam, he's given up 1 run, which was unearned. 2 hits for Pulliam compared to Bax guy's 4. Both have walked a pair. And Pulliam, those pair have come in the last 2 batters. 0-1 count now on Rook. See if that little mound visit settled him down. Misses away. 1-1. Edgewood. They'll throw Breezak, Bentavegna, and Dominic Lee to the plate whenever we get to the bottom of the 5th. As this ball is popped up, Lee has to make some adjustments, but he does for the grab. So, despite some 2-out magic from Aurora, they can't put a run up on the board. First time they've been shut out in an inning since the first inning. And we head now to the bottom of the 5th. Edgewood down by a pair. See if their offense can get back on the scoreboard. Brevin Breezak will lead the Eagles' offensive charge in the bottom of the 5th. Breezak 0 for 2, did draw an RBI on a 3rd inning groundout. As he goes to work against Barba, who is kept this Eagles offense at bay. Has given up 3 runs, but damage could be much worse, as it's now 1-1 on Breezak. Barba, 4 innings, now at 76 pitches, 3 runs, all earned, but he's given up 8 hits. And that's really been the story for this Edgewood offense, Ethan. They've put up 3 runs, which is a good number through 4 complete innings, but you feel like they could have a couple more here.
Yeah, it comes down to timely hitting. It comes down to the fact that this Edgewood team has left 7 on base. How do you win a tournament? You got to pitch well, you got to defend well, and you got to have timely hitting.
And while Barba, he's been pushed to the ropes a couple times in this game, he hasn't broke just yet.
Yeah, really just that one true rocky inning was in the third. Couple hits in a row in the first, got Edgewood on the board, but still a ton of time to settle into this ball game, but that's not a good start.
Walk to the leadoff man in Breezak. First time he has reached base safely today, and with the runner on, that'll bring up Benta Vegna. So after the first 3 innings, no leadoff Eagle had reached. Now, back-to-back innings where the leadoff hitter's on. There's a leadoff single from Colby Davis last inning, and now a leadoff walk for Brevin Breezak. See if the Eagles can capitalize here. Benta Vegna shows bunt, lays it down, and that's a beautiful bunt. Riley able to get the play at first, but beautiful job there by Benta Vegna to move the runner over 1.
Yeah, you got to chip away, got to get back into this ball game. You're only trailing 2.
Yeah, plenty of time.
Now batting, 23, Dominic Lee.
You have now 4 2/3 of an inning left to go here. As Lee checked his swing, I'm going to say he went 0-1. Close pitch to the zone anyways. Here's the 0-1. The delivery, fouled off, 0-2. This would be big if Barba can get 2 straight batters out after a leadoff walk. Help out his pitch count a little, too, as he's currently sitting at 83 through 4 1/3. The 0-2, way outside. Throwaway pitch there, 1-2 now. Aurora, obviously you're going to throw whoever you need to win this game. They do have a man throwing down in the pen. But you also know that if you want to make a run to the title, you got 2 more games after this as well. So they would love to get as much depth out of Barba as possible. That ball's fouled off. The big question is going to be surrounding Connor Hogan. He's not throwing right now. That's a righty down there. Hogan a lefty, but he started Aurora's first game in this double elam turning. The loss to Edgewood as this ball lifted into left. Holgado tracking it down, backpedaling, and he can't reel it in. Holgado misplays it. Breezak, he's going to come home and score. And Edgewood back within 1 after the costly drop from Jaden Holgado out and left.
First real mistake Aurora's made in this game. And, man, is that going to cost him.
Number 20, Carson Richter.
It will be an error assigned to Holgado.
He never had a good read of that ball.
You can tell he was struggling there. He was turning. He was backpedaling.
It just ate him up. It ate him up big time. And, man, 4 errors in this game. 3 from Edgewood, 1 from Aurora. This is turning into a sloppy game. Almost what you expect when we're on day 3 and both these teams have played a lot of baseball this week.
And the wind has picked up again today. You can see the grouping of flags to the left of the stadium. They're blowing pretty hard out there, right to left, from right field to left field.
Yeah, more out to left, something we have not seen yet here in this tournament.
Yesterday was pretty quiet relatively in terms of the wind. Still a little breeze now and then, but nothing compared to what we saw on Thursday. But today it looks like it's going to be another day Another windy day at the ballpark. It's also the warmest day we've had. It's not what we thought it would be. We thought we'd be in the low to mid 60s. And the high, according to the weather app, was 58. So a little cooler than expected, but no clouds in the sky, so the sun helping out a bit. And I'm sure for those players down on the field, this is just about perfect. It's cool, not too cool, though.
Yeah, this is a beautiful day. Definitely the best day we've gotten all week.
And the other benefit for the two games today is no super early game like we saw the last 2 days. No 10 a.m. game, so always cooler in the morning, and no night game as well. We've had 7 p.m. games both days of this double elim format.
First day was cold yet. Last night was gorgeous.
Yeah, last night, again, a little chilly, but very manageable as this ball is into a diving Gorecki. One hopper. It brings the first baseman off. And again, some sloppy defense. Gorecki, we've talked about how good he's been defensively in the hot corner. However, that bites him there. So a missed throw from Gorecki. It'll be a throwing error.
Now batting number 18, Colby Davis.
Who's going to outlast who? This game has already taken the brand of being sloppy. Hey, this is what it's going to be. Who can outlast the other?
And I'll bring up Colby Davis. 1 for 2, a single. And he hit into a fielder's choice in his first at-bat.
I mean, Gorecki does the hard part there. He lays out for the ball, gloves it, gets up to his feet.
Great dive.
A good throw there gets Richter, who's a catcher.
Right. Might have just rushed it mentally. As there's a strike, finds its way in.
We're in for a long day at the yard here for this first one. I mean, we are already pushing 2 hours, and we're in the bottom of the 5th. There has been 9 runs on the board, 14 total hits, and 5 errors.
That pitch way outside. Riley able to get the leather on it. Yeah, these two teams, they're just in for a marathon right now. Especially if one of them wants to make a run to the title.
Yeah, it's going to be tough turning around playing MSOE, whoever wins this one.
Yeah, MSOE, this ball's popped up. Couple Spartans in on it. Who wants it, though? It's Rook making the grab. Good job by Rook to track that one down again with the wind. That's any pop fly is going to be tough. But Rook able to reel it in, and with 2 outs now, it'll be back to the top of the lineup. Terry Tolliver, he's been so good this tournament, was excellent last night against MSOE. He struggled here though. 0 for 3, fly out, a foul out, and a ground out. Here's the pitch. That misses. Low and in. Good block by Riley. Again, anything that gets by these catchers is guaranteed to advance the runners with how far that backstop is. If it's bad enough bounce, someone could score. They'll try pickoff move, and nice grab there by Rook. Didn't get the runner, but if he didn't catch that, that's sailing into center field. So, 1-0 count now on Tolliver, the leadoff man of the day for Edgewood. He's been there all tournament. The pitch. He's going to let this one go high and away. 2-0. You can hear the wind howling here. It's definitely an adjustment for these two teams who played yesterday. Aurora played twice as Tolliver swings through that one for a miss. Edgewood lost last night. Aurora, they're on a 2-game winning streak. Both wins coming yesterday after the loss to Edgewood on Thursday. Here's the 2-0. Tolliver lets it go, 3-1. That was the 2-1. Correction, now it's 3-1. Bottom of the 5th. Edgewood's got one back within 1. The 3-1. Tolliver lines it foul down the first base line. Could have been disastrous if it was a couple feet over. Oh, first baseman Lukancic, he did a good job hugging the line. Don't know if it would have gotten past him. 3-2 runners go, and that'll be ball 4. A 2-out walk to Tolliver, and that loads the bases. And to the plate, it brings Hayden Hellenbrand. Hellenbrand, a double in the first inning, a fly out and a hit by pitch, as Coach Stevens going to come out. And I believe we're going to see a pitching change here. Edgar Barba, his day is done. So we'll have some more info on the new Aurora pitcher when we're back here in just a second. It's number 8, Adrian Ruiz, on the mound now for Aurora. Barba leaves after 4 2/3, gave up 8 hits, 3 walks, a pair of strikeouts. But all 3 of these runners are his as this ball gets away from Riley, checks the runner. No go there from the lead runner, Dominic Lee.
Kind of feels like both these teams are just trying to survive. Good pitch. Right over the top. Spinner into the zone. Ruiz. First appearance of the tournament here. 5.93 earned run average. Has been used often. 30 1/3. 28 strikeouts, just 12 walks.
1-1 is fouled back. 1-2 now.
Here's the chance for Aurora to get out of this thing. Defense was flat out bad in this inning. 2 errors. It's already cost you a run. Don't let it do any more damage. Send this game to the 6th inning.
This ball lifted, going back and foul. That hits the bleachers to our right. 1-2 count now from Ruiz. This inning should be over. 2 errors through the last 4 batters. As this ball hit up the gut, we're going to have a tied game as the ball is bobbled in center field by Curcio and Edgewood. They take advantage of the sloppy Aurora defense, and they are going to take a 6-5 lead here in the bottom of the 5th. Clutch hitting from Hayden Hellenbrand, and the momentum has been turned.
First lead since the first inning for Edgewood. They are able to capitalize, again, on bad baseball from Aurora. Bad baseball, errors. We're talking 2 in this inning. This inning should have been over long ago, but it was extended, it was prolonged, and the Eagles doing what they're supposed to do. And now this thing could even get more out of hand if Carney is able to come through. Obviously struck out in his last at-bat, but he's done a ton of damage today and hoping to do some more.
1-1 count, and that'll be another error assigned to Aurora on the fielding mistake by Curcio. As that's likely what allowed Terry Tolliver Jr. to go all the way to third, as well as Helen Brand to second. Carney swings through that one, 2-2.
You know who's loving this? MSOE.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they want this game to go as long as possible.
Let these two teams just burn each other out. Have them limp into the championship.
This ball, a looper foul down the left field line, so count will stay even at 2-2.
But also got to stay ready, because whatever team wins this game is going to come in with a lot of momentum. A lot of momentum. And they're going to want to come out firing, as they've done in this game. And I have a feeling there's going to be a lot more scoring in the next 4 innings and some.
2-2, 2 outs. Gets away from Riley, checks the runner at third. He doesn't go. 3-2 count now. Full count on Carney, as runners will be in motion here. Full count, 2 outs. Edgewood, they've scored 3 to take a 6-5 lead. Ruiz, as this ball is looped into left field. That's going to score 2. 2 RBI single from Jacob Carney. His day at the plate just keeps getting hotter, as he has now driven in 3 runs. His 3rd hit of the day already, and that makes it 8-5.
I mean, what a disaster this has been for Aurora.
And that'll bring up the 9th hitter, Kyle Prindle. Prindle, 0 for 2, pair of groundouts and a walk, as he jacks this one into right. Going back is Zarnecki, getting under it, and he makes the grab for out number 3. But the Edgewood Eagles, they finally break through offensively. 5 runs in the bottom of the 5th. They take an 8-5 lead. See how Aurora responds in the top of the 6th. Aurora, they got some work to do. They now find themselves down by 3, a 5-run, bottom of the 5th from the Edgewood offense. And they're going to start things off in a good position. The top of the lineup, Dominic Curcio, as he is 0 for 3. He has reached once due to a fielding error from Jacob Carney at first, as he will start in an 0-1 count. So now the attention, Ethan, it turns to Cole Polium and this Eagles staff and defense.
Yeah, you just got to play a clean game the rest of the way. You got to. There can't be any more second chances. You got to throw the ball in the zone and be effective.
The 1-1, a hopper, I believe that tips off Polium's glove, and no play at first. Curcio too quick, and again, I think Polium slowed that one down.
And this is also the window. The door is open right now for Edgewood to walk in and walk to the championship. They are gifted 5 runs in the 5th inning. Not one of them was earned. They committed 3 total errors in that inning. A bad display from Aurora. And they're going to look to their bats here to try to figure things out. And, hey, time and time again this year, this brilliant offense has come through. They're going to look to do it again here.
As this ball going down the left field line, it is way foul out of the park. So it works its way into the parking lot. So about as long a strike as you can get for Joe Lukancic. He's 2 for 2. Pair of singles. Also was walked into third. Came around to score. He's working with a leadoff man aboard. No one gets a piece. Might hit the home plate umpire Slawinski as well. So he takes his mask off to recollect. 0-2 now on Lukancic. Lukancic takes a second himself to recollect. 0-2 on the tall first baseman who now bends over to protect the plate. We see him do it. A lot last night against Ben Yu, as now this ball going back could be trouble, but it is reeled in by Dominic Lee. Good track there by the left fielder. And that'll be a big first out.
And that ball had some carry to it. That's what the wind's doing here today. It's going out to that left field pole, and a ball that looks like a routine fly ball just gets going. Great tracking job out there, as you mentioned there, from Dominic Lee. And that's a tone-setting first out. You know, after that big inning, Aurora wants to do all they can to grasp momentum once again. Curcio gets on, but then Lukancic retired for the first time here in the ballgame.
Pickoff move, no good. Diving in safely as Curcio. Such a big runner to keep at bay. He's quick and he's aggressive. It's a nightmare for opposing defenses as that ball is lifted behind the backstop foul. 0-1. Logan Riley, 1 for 3 with an RBI single.
Hey, get going here. Here we go.
As the pickoff move gets away from Carney, and that'll be an advancement from Curcio.
Another error. It's 4 in the game now for Edgewood.
Error on Polium on the pickoff attempt. A 1 count. As now Polium really has to dial in on that hitter. Got to get an out here. 1-1.
There's a balk.
That's a balk. Polium looked like he was about to lose it, so he just held on to the ball. Trying to probably prevent a wild pitch, but it's just as damaging. As now Curcio, 90 feet from the plate. Now you really have to lock in on Riley.
I mean, we've seen everything in this game. Absolutely everything.
7 combined errors and now a balk on top of it. As Polium is allowing Curcio to get to third. A failed pickoff attempt that turned into an error, and now the balk. This pitch is lifted out into center. Tolliver almost misplayed it. He gets it. He's going to throw home, and it's cut off by Polium as Curcio slides in safely for the run. Sack fly for Logan Riley, and Aurora back within 2.
That's what the error throw did, and that's what the balk did. It allowed Curcio to third and to score on a shallow line drive into center.
Curcio, he should still be at first, right, on that sack fly. Instead, he's crossed home, and it's now an 8-6 ball game, still favoring Edgewood, but they got to keep this hot Aurora offense at bay. Aurora currently averaging a run an inning right now, a little over that, as we've only played 5 2/3. This ball low, 1-1. Gorecki, been such a hot hitter. He had a triple in the third that drove in a run. Bases are empty, though, as this ball outside, 2-1. You have Nick Zarnecki on deck. He's 0 for 2 with a walk. This ball inside. 3-1 now on Gorecki. No one throwing in the Edgewood bullpen. Polium gets set. The 3-1. In there, strike 2, full count.
Put this inning to rest. Get your offense back going. Leave this one in the dust.
Full count, 2 outs. The pitch popped up. It's going to stay in play. Prindle trying to get under it. Calls everyone off, and he does. Pop out to short, ends the inning, but Aurora, they tack on a run. They're up to 6. They still trail Edgewood by 2, 8-6. See if Edgewood can bump that lead back up. Bottom of the 6th, Edgewood. Going to look to add on to their lead here after Aurora chipped away at it. 8-6 lead for these Eagles. And it'll start with Brevin Brezak. He led last inning off with a walk on a full count. Eventually came home to score as he jacks the first pitch up. Who wants it? Aurora, some trouble and a desperation grab there from Lukancic. That ball had trouble written all over it, but the first baseman able to get there for the first out on the first pitch.
It's a good start after that disaster of a 5th inning. You get 1 pitch, 1 out. Stay in the zone here. Get a quick inning. You got to get your offense back up to the plate. You're only trailing 2, 9 outs to play with. Shouldn't be too bad considering what this offense is capable of.
That ball misses. 1-1 now on Daniel Bentavegna. Sack butt last inning. A single and a foul out. He's got an RBI. As he swings through that one for a strike. 1-2 the count. 8-6 lead. Edgewood's holding on to. Oh, you have a feeling it's not going to end this way. We still have a third of a game to play after this inning. A 1-1 popped up as Bentavegna went down for it. Washington, the opposing second baseman, makes the grab on his Edgewood counterpart for out number 2.
Well, here's the focus. You got the first 2 outs of the inning easily. It is absolutely essential that you get the third in the same way. There has not been a 1, 2, 3 inning in the ball game. Here's your chance. Set a little bit of a tone here. That's a nice start. Not a great swing there from Lee.
Ruiz, he's up to 1 total inning pitched, 18 pitches, has allowed 2 hits and an unearned run. As Lee fouls this one off, out of play, past the Edgewood bullpen. Still, no one going out there for the Eagles. They're going to ride with Polium as long as they can. Aurora, some movement, but no one throwing, as Ruiz still looking pretty fresh. He's only faced 5 batters. This is number 6. Lee, pair of singles and reached on an error last inning. Came home to score as he lifts this one. Sarnecki getting under it, and he has no problem reeling in that routine fly ball. So a 1-2-3 inning for Ruiz, much needed from this Aurora pitching staff, and they're going to have a chance to chip away at this lead even further in the top of the 7th. Final third of the final semifinal game in the 2025 NACC baseball tournament. Aurora currently down by a pair, and they are going to send the right fielder Nick Zarnecki to the plate to lead things off. And he's going to take a ball up high to start his at-bat. Zarnecki so far 0 for 2 with a walk. The 1-0. He gets a piece of it, a two-hopper up high. Bentavigna able to glove it and get it to first in time for out number 1.
Well, will we start to see pitchers settle in? I mean, we've been asking ourselves that question since the very first inning. And the answer until the bottom of the 6th was no. But a 1-2-3 inning from Aurora and Ruiz. We'll see if Polium can do the same.
Ball in there for a strike. Now, we have not seen an inning without one team scoring a run yet. We got close in the 4th and the 6th when only Aurora put a run up, as this ball is going to be a tough play. Gets through everyone into right center. And that'll be a 1-out single.
Well, here you go. Here you go. Got a guy on base here. Buck picks up his 2nd hit of the game. Now you got Halgado coming up. Swung a hot bat last night. So here's your chance to rally back, get back into this ball game with just 8 outs to play with here for Aurora, trailing just 2 here in the ball game.
Yeah, Halgado last night against Benedictine. His first start of the tournament as he leaves that one high. 3 for 4 with 3 runs driven in. So far today, though, fielder's choice and a run, a fly out, and a walk. Does have a stolen base as well. 1-0 count right now. 2-0. Here's the pitch. And that just clips the zone. Nasty pitch there from Polium. Unhittable for Halgado as he had to step back. Runner at first. These are 2 good runners. It's going to be hard to double them up. The 2-1. Nice frame job by Richter. Gets another strike called. 2-2.
And now we're expecting on 2-1.
Polium's got him set up. Count evened up at 2 apiece. The pitch. Check swing. Able to hold back. Didn't really go that far at all. As it's now 3-2. Full count, runner on first, just 1 out in the inning. Pulliam trying to keep this Aurora team off the board. This ball is lifted into center. Tolliver's there, makes the grab for a second out.
It's a big out, big out. Couldn't afford the walk there. You had to be competitive into the zone, and not only was he competitive, he was effective. It's a soft liner into center, and now you just need one more out to send this game into the stretch.
One more out between the 8 and 9 hitters. Matthew Washington, number 8, up now. He wears number 9. And then the 9 hitter, Spencer Rook. He's on deck. He wears number 5. Middle of the infield, rounding out the bottom of the lineup here for Aurora. Washington, the second baseman. Rook, the shortstop. And they have the DH on base. 0-1 count here on Washington. As this ball gets away from Richter, and Buck's going to take off a throw by Richter. It skips past Prindle, but good backup there by Bentavegna to keep Buck at second. As that'll go down as a passed ball on Richter. He's been struggling back there in terms of keeping these pitches in front of him. Between today and last night's lost MSOE. Might not have to worry about it. This ball popped up. Tolliver calling everyone off, and he makes the grab for out number 3. So, despite the passed ball, Edgewood able to keep Aurora off the board just the 3rd inning. They've done that today. And we head now to the bottom of the 7th. 8-6 our score. Carson Richter, Colby Davis, the 8-9 hitters. They'll lead off here, and they'll be followed by the top of the lineup in Terry Tolliver Jr. See what they can do here as Richter launches the first pitch. It's going to be a tough play. No one gets there. Hit it where they ain't. Richter does just that, and he's on with a leadoff single on the first pitch.
Well, this offense was slowed down in the 6th inning, went down 1-2-3, but a nice start here in the home half of the 7th. No lead is safe here in the 2025 NACC baseball tournament. A 2-run lead. You just don't feel safe at all. You feel like it is absolutely essential for this team to add on some insurance. It is highly unlikely that this game ends in an 8-6 score.
Yeah, Aurora, they scored 4 runs in the bottom of the 9th in their loss to Edgewood. The only issue, they were down by 5 that inning. So this is an Aurora team who they've already had some late inning success against these Eagles. It's just going to be for Edgewood. Can you stop that, or can you build a big enough lead like you did on Thursday that it doesn't matter? Bunt laid down here by Davis. Gorecki over to first in time for the out, but a sac bunt moves the runner into scoring position. Small ball play there by Colby Davis. And we're to the top of the lineup now. Terry Tolliver Jr. ready to go. Hasn't had a hit yet. Has been walked. That was in the 5th. As we will have a pinch runner now for Carson Richter. Trying to get a beat on the number. And it will be number 4 for Edgewood. Jacob Minier, the junior outfielder from Bakersfield, California. So We'll have to see what Edgewood does behind the plate next inning. Again, Minier, not a catcher. Wouldn't be surprised to see Colby Davis strap on the chest pad. He is a catcher. We've seen him play there this tournament. But for Richter, again, nice day with the bat. Couple of singles, reached on an error, and eventually scored a run. But those pass balls have really been eating him up so far this tournament, especially the last 2 days. So we'll have a defensive change for Edgewood in the next half inning. As for now, though, they're working with a runner on in scoring position. 1 out. Your leadoff man at the dish. The pitch. Tolliver watches that one as it bounces in front of Riley. He's quickly on top of it, though. 2-0 count. Tolliver, a grad student out of Baton Rouge, Louisiana. The 2-0. Pops it up. And it will be caught by Gorecki in foul territory.
That is a huge out for Aurora. Now you put yourself in a spot to get out of this inning unscathed. You had to work around TJ Tolliver, and they did just that.
Well, it doesn't get any easier because these next 2 batters have been on fire. First, it's Hayden Hellenbrand, a pair of doubles, 2 RBIs, and a run, as well as being hit by a pitch. And if he's able to reach, then you got to face Jacob Carney. 3 for 4 with 2 doubles, a single, 3 RBIs, and a run. As this is a grounder, and it bounces off Gorecki's glove. Everybody's going to be safe. Runners in the corners.
It's a tough play. That really is. Tough play in the hole. It's a good job by the shortstop, Rook, to play the deflection, because if not, that ball is scoring. Minier, no doubt. They're going down as an error. That's going to be the 4th of the game here against Aurora.
And now the inning should be over. So all runs are unearned from this point on, but you have to go up against Jacob Carney. Again, 3 hits, 2 of them doubles, and 3 RBIs, as well as a run scored for the first baseman, who's turning it on at the right time. Runner goes down to second. They throw it back to Ruiz, making sure that there wasn't a double steal attempt. So Hellenbrand puts himself in scoring position. But again, you just got to worry about getting Carney out. You have 2 outs on the board. The 0-1. That's going to be a strike. Oh, 2 misses. 1-2 now. The 1-2. It's going to be a chopper. Tough play, as taking it and making it look easy, though, is Lukancic. So Carney grounds out to the third baseman unassisted. And with that, we head now to the top of the 8th. First inning, no one has scored in this game. Edgewood still on top by a pair, 8-6. Aurora back at the plate. They've got 6 outs to work with here as they trail Edgewood by a pair. Cole Polium has really done a good job in relief as his first pitch is in there for a strike to Spencer Rook, the 9-hole hitter. So far today, Polium, the 0-1, fouled off. Polium has thrown 4 2/3, 86 pitches now, 4 hits, 2 runs, both unearned, and he has walked a pair. Other than that, pretty clean game from Cole Polium. And it continues to be clean. A strikeout looking for the first out. Cole Polium. If Edgewood can hang on here, that's a big if. He might just be the story of the game. Ethan, his ability to come in after a rocky start by Backsky and just settle this Aurora offense down.
Yeah, it's been fun to watch. And we spoke about when he came into the game that he had the opportunity of being the catalyst. Can he hold Aurora off the board for the middle part of this ball game? And he did. And now he's putting Edgewood in a spot to play in the championship. They are 5 outs away here.
No one throwing in either bullpen, as a matter of fact. So this is Polium's game, and it's also Ruiz's, but he's only at 33 pitches for Aurora. So you're not really worried about him as he's allowed an unearned run. Here's a tough play. Prindle gloves it, throws it in time. Kyle Prindle throws in a spin move for style points and gets the out at first.
That's one heck of a play. Field it on the backhand, spin, plant your feet, chuck it across the diamond, and get a speedy Curcio at first. This team is playing with some flair right now.
Good stretch there by Carney as well to get to the ball a little quicker. Curcio was hustling down the line. And here's a strike. Polium, he's feeling it right now. A strikeout looking, and then a 1-pitch ground out, helped out by his defensive player, Prindle. What's he got on 0-1? He's got a grounder right back to him. Look what I found. And he's going to flip it over to Carney for out number 3. Cole Polium fired up as he rounds the second base, yelling at his outfielders. He knows his team is now 1 good inning away from the championship game. We'll see if they can hang on. We'll see if they can add on as we head to the bottom of the 8th. Last chance here for Edgewood to add on before they look to shut the Spartans down in the top of the 9th. They'll have Kyle Prindle, Brevin Brezak, and Daniel Bentavegna all promised at bats as here's going to be a leadoff single for Prindle.
Single at least, big turn. And this team is playing with some fire.
Good cutoff there by Curcio to keep Prindle at first. That ball just to the right of Matthew Washington. But, yeah, you could tell. This Eagle squad right now, they are feeling it. They get a big bottom of the 5th to take the lead. They squander 1 run in the top of the 6th. Since then, their defense has been absolutely nails, thanks in large part to an excellent relief performance so far from Cole Poliam. No one thrown in the Edgewood bullpen, so that's going to be his game to close down. As here's a bunt by Brezak. Beautiful bunt. Throw over to first, and it gets away. It's going down the right field line, and that's going to allow Prindle to get over to third. And they're going to say he needs to go back.
Are they saying interference on the runner? On Brezak? I mean, that ball hit him. He should be safe.
He was going dead down the line. He didn't move at all. And so Brezak is going to head to the dugout. And they're saying he's out on the interference as
Where's the interference?
Brezak's father and head coach of the Eagles, Al Brezak, now arguing with the umpire, and he's gone. Al Brezak has been ejected from this game. And now he's going to get his dollar's worth. Mike Slewinski, the home plate umpire, tossing the 25th year bench boss of Edgewood, and he is still getting his money's worth now that he's been officially ejected.
I mean, I don't even disagree with the argument here.
Yeah, Brevin Brezak he showed no signs of diverting from his running path.
That is.
He put his head down. He knew it was a good bunt, and he's a big guy. So, yeah, he takes up a lot of space going down the base path, but
It's a bad call. It really is. Might fire up Edgewood more.
we'll see how they respond as this ball is fouled back by Bentavegna. Yeah, the question is, who does this impact? Is Edgewood going to get fired up here by a pretty intriguing call? Or is it going to be the Spartans, knowing that they might have gotten a gift there? As you can see, Coach Brezak walking all the way towards the grouping of flags here in this complex in Glendale. Again, when you're ejected, you do have to leave the facility. And I don't know the official rules, but if Edgewood holds on, I believe he should be able to come back for the MSOE game.
Yeah, he'll be fine because you think about the CUC head coach
Right.
getting thrown out.
The only questionable thing is, obviously, that was Coach Colin Connor of CUC who was ejected on Thursday, and he came back yesterday, Friday. That MSOE game's today. So, yes, officially he should be back because it's a game. And if Edgewood plays again, it would be a completely different game against MSOE. Just it being on the same day kind of makes it a little confusing. So Coach Al Brezak will have to watch from afar as his team tries to hold on here through the final inning and a half of play. 0-2. Low and away. Make it 1-2. Second ejection we've seen in this tournament. Al Brezak today, and then Coach Colin Connor of Concordia, Chicago on Thursday as they get him. Great pickoff move there by Ruiz, and Prindle is going to be sent to the dugout, picked off at first.
I mean, this inning has just completely fallen apart for Edgewood.
And for Aurora, they got to ride this momentum. Get the next out here quick. A strikeout would be a dream. And you will have all of the momentum riding into your final 3 outs in the top of the 9th. Here's the 1-2. Going away. Make it 2-2.
Benton Vania's feeling it. Nodding his head at Ruiz after taking that one outside. Saying, come into the zone, please.
Aurora, they'll have Riley, Gorecki, and Zarnecki in the top of the 9th. The 3, 4, and 5 hitters. Here's the 2-2. Bentavegna lifts this one into shallow left center. And this inning isn't over yet. Daniel Bentavegna gets on board with a 2-out single. And we head now.
Yeah, he's feeling it. I mean, him and Ruiz are exchanging more than a few words.
Tensions are flaring here. Again, these two teams know one of them has an inning and a half left in their season, possibly, as this ball is going to go foul onto the top of the Edgewood bullpen, which is covered by a screen. So these two teams, they're feeling it. They know the loser's going home, the winner, they got a chance to dethrone MSOE, the number 1 seed who won the regular season championship and are 1 win away from a tournament championship. As Lee, a mile-high pop-up into right, and Zarnecki, no issue there. So an eventful bottom of the 8th. Runners interference, manager ejected, and a pickoff. And we head now to the top of the 9th. Aurora's offense, they've been quiet as of late. Can they find some juice down to their final 3 outs of the season? See what they got as Cole Polium looks to shut the door. The Aurora Spartans, the number 2 seed and a 7-time NACC tournament winner, the most in NACC history. They're down their final 2 outs against the 6 seed Eagles. Cole Polium out there to throw as he issues a strike to the leadoff man, Logan Riley. Riley, Gorecki, and Zarnecki. They will be the 3 hitters guaranteed an at-bat to try and keep their season alive. They need 2 to force the bottom of the 9th, 3 to take a lead and seal a date with number 1 Milwaukee School of Engineering. The 0-2, fouled back.
What a game this has been. What a treat to watch this one. It has been a game of everything, and which opponent would outlast the other. Edgewood, 3 outs away from an improbable run to the championship.
The 0-2. Found off. Yeah, talk about Edgewood. Right, they come into this tournament as the 6th seed. They have to win on Wednesday to stave off elimination in the single elimination round. They were down 8-3 in the 7th. They came back and beat Rockford 9-8 and 12. Then they get the number 3 seeded CUC, beat them 4-1 behind a stellar Aiden Shoemaker. Then they get this number 2 seed, Aurora. They beat them 10-9 after a 4-run top of the 9th. As an 0-2, it's high and in for ball 1. Then they get the number 1 MSOE last night, 10-6 loss, but still a good fight from this Eagle squad. And now they're 3 outs away from downing the number 2 seed. Could be 2 outs away. The throw over to first in time for 1. Edgewood, 2 outs away now, as it'll be Braden Gorecki, the third baseman, after being so hot last night. A perfect game at the plate. He's 1 for 4 today with a triple and an RBI. He's got to reach here to give his team a realistic shot, as they have 2 outs to play with. Tying run on deck. That's a ball. The 1-0. Misses 2-0.
Got to get a base runner on here. Got to give yourself a shot here. Put the pressure on Edgewood.
2-0. It's in there. 2-1. Here's a grounder, and it almost gets through the right side. Bentavegna can't get a clean glove on it. Knocked it down, but there it is. There's a base runner in Gorecki, and that'll bring the tying run to the plate now. One swing could even us up, and it will be Nick Zarnecki.
Nothing but ground balls here for Zarnecki.
A walk, and then a ground out to second twice, and a first once as he takes a strike.
How about Polium? 6 innings flat right now, 5 hits, 2 runs, none of which earned. Over 100 pitches in relief. Incredible.
The 0-1. Foul. 0-2. What does Polium got left in the tank? That's the question. The 0-2 as this ball drilled out into center. Tolliver not having to go too far. Out number 2. Edgewood 1 away.
Now batting, number 16.
And it'll be up to Ryan Buck to keep his team's season alive. Buck, the designated hitter, a junior out of Yorkville, Illinois. He's got a pair of singles, reached on an error, and a flyout this game. He's the tying run. There's a strike. He's got to reach safely. 8-6 ball game. Edgewood on top here, top of the 9th. 1 out away from seeing MSOE again. This ball popped up. This could do it. Tolliver getting under it. Makes the grab. Number 6 Edgewood, for the second time this tournament, upsets the 2-seed Aurora, and they have sealed a date with the Milwaukee School of Engineering in tonight's championship game. 8-6 your final, as the Cinderella story of the tournament isn't over yet.
In around 30 minutes. Again, your final score, Edgewood 8.
Wow.
Aurora 6.
Edgewood came to play this tournament. They have staved off elimination. Multiple times this tournament. And they are now They're now 2 wins away from doing it all. Ethan.
What a team.
Yeah.
What a team. The resilience, unbelievable. Their ability to answer the phone every single time. All the odds were against him right away. They were committing errors out the wazoo. They had a deficit immediately, but they came back and they leaned on Polium. He is absolutely your player of the game. He finishes 6 2/3 of relief. No earned runs, 105 pitches. They needed to lean on somebody, and it was him. And oh my, throughout all the adversity, this one comes to an end. And the winners, Edgewood, the 6th seed, will have to beat MSOE twice, starting soon.
That's right. Edgewood. They'll play again today in roughly 30 minutes. The start time was scheduled for 3. It'll be bumped back probably by a couple minutes. But if they win tonight, they win tomorrow again. They're the NACC champions. MSOE, however, they just got to win 1. They could seal the deal tonight with a win over this Edgewood squad, a team they beat last night. But as we work on getting a post-game interview up here, as we're going to try, as we try to get Cole Polium. Start time is set for 3:10 in that second game, I should mention. Let's go over some of the statistics from the game. First, for the losers, the Aurora Spartans, who see their season come to an end. 6 runs on 9 hits, 4 errors. That's a big number, even though Edgewood, they have the same amount. In terms of notable hitters, Logan Riley, 2 RBIs on a hit, and Spencer Rook, 2 RBIs on 1 hit. Multi-hit days coming from Ryan Buck, Braden Gorecki, and Joe Lukancic. Pitching-wise, the loss will fall on Barba. 4.2 innings thrown, 8 hits, 7 runs, only 3 of which were earned. 3 walks and a pair of strikeouts. As for the Edgewood Eagles, 8 runs, 13 hits, 4 errors. Big offensive games from Jacob Carney, 3 for 5 with 3 RBIs. Hayden Hellenbrand, 2 for 4 with 2 RBIs. And then single RBIs from Brevin Brezak and Daniel Bentavegna. And the winning pitcher, Cole Polium, 6.2 innings, 105 pitches, 5 hits, 2 runs, both unearned. Pair of walks and 1 strikeout, as we're going to get set for a post-game interview with Cole here in a second. And then when we're wrapped up with that, we're going to get set for the first of possibly 2 championship games between Edgewood and MSOE, set for 3:10 start time. But don't go anywhere just yet. Post-game interview with Cole Polium coming up shortly. Welcome back to the Cougar Sports Network. Peter Borkowski here, and I'm joined by the winning pitcher of the game, Cole Polium. And Cole, how you feeling right now, man? Over 100 innings out of the bullpen. You get the win. What's going through your head right now?
You know, I'm just trying to catch my breath. You know, it gets to be a lot in there. It gets to be a whirlwind, so you really got to keep your head calm,
right?
Kind of breathe through it. So now all those extra breaths that I wanted to take are kind of coming out.
Yeah,
so
right. Yeah. And talk about your mentality. You get the call out of the pen, right? Your team's, you know, you're struggling a little bit against this Aurora offense. You come out 6.2 innings. You shut them down. No earned runs on the stat sheet for you. Just what's going through your head getting that call out of the pen and throughout the rest of the game?
You know, you just can't think about it too much. Like the guys are relying on you to go in there and shut stuff down. You know, you're down by a couple. I think we were down by 2. So it's just stopping the bleeding. You know, go in there, stop the bleeding, get a little momentum running, get the hitters to use a little bit of that momentum you built, and then just be with the boys the whole way.
That's right. And talk about your offense a little bit here. You guys put up 8 runs. You had a big 5-run inning in the bottom of the 5th. As a pitcher, what were you seeing out of your hitters out there that led to that success against some pretty good Aurora pitchers?
You know, nothing that I haven't seen all year. We got some legit guys on our team. Anybody who's played us, anybody who's seen us knows that we can smack the ball around. And, you know, I have the utmost confidence in every single one of my guys when they go up there to get the job done. So there's never a doubt.
Right.
You know, they're always going to go up there and give it all. So.
Right. And as for you and your squad, again, you come in as a 6 seed, you stave off elimination in that single Elam game against Rockford, you take down the 3 seed, you take down the 2 seed twice. Just what's going on in that dugout right now? You guys are playing with some magic right now.
Yeah, I mean, I think you can get overlooked a little bit coming in as a 6 seed. We didn't have the regular season that we necessarily wanted to.
Right.
But, like I said, everybody who's played us knows that we're a dang good ball club, and we're just going to go right at guys, and we're going to play the game.
Right. And last thing to wrap up before I let you go, Cole, about 30 minutes, you guys are right back in action against the 1 seed MSOE. You lost to them last night. What adjustments do you need to make in these next 30 minutes? What do you need to do in this next half hour before you play for your season once again tonight?
This is a good team. MSOE is a good ball club. Teams that have success against MSOE limit unearned runs. If you don't walk guys, if you don't give away free bases, you have a really good chance to beat this team. We saw that. We beat them at home. We 10-runned them at home. So it's really all just about playing the game fundamental, limiting the uncontrollables, and just going for it.
That's right. Well, Cole, congrats on the win. Congrats on extending your season, and good luck today against MSOE. Thanks for joining me up here.
It.
Edgewood Eagles, they stave off elimination. They advance to the championship game against the home team, the Raiders of MSOE. We'll have that game for you at roughly 3:10 p.m., so don't go anywhere. You're watching the Cougar Sports Network.